Welcome, Japanese woodblock print collectors and enthusiasts. Today we have a rivalry of sorts between two of the most famous actors of the Meiji period. I'm talking about the actor Onoe Kikugorō V and Kunichika's print series 100 Roles of Baiko from 1893, and the actor Ichikawa Danjuro IX and Kunichika's series 100 Roles of Danjūrō, also from 1893. I'm going to begin with a short bio on each of the actors, and then we'll look at selected prints from these two amazing woodblock print series. Let's start with Ichikawa Danjuro IX. Born in 1838, he debuted on the Kabuki stage at the age of 7. He was instrumental in modernizing the old Edo-style Kabuki by pioneering the katsureki, or living history style of Kabuki plays. And this style tried to depict historical events with greater realism. He performed for Emperor Meiji in 1887, and this was the first time an emperor attended a Kabuki performance. And he helped inaugurate Tokyo's Kabukiza Theater in 1889. Our next actor, Onoe Kikugorō V, was born in 1844. And during this video, I'm going to refer to Kikugorō by his nickname or pen name, which was Baiko. Whereas many actors specialized in specific roles or types of characters, Baiko was known as a kaneru yakusha, and that's someone who can play all three types of Kabuki roles: women, men, and villains. Baiko also helped modernize Kabuki by contributing to the development of the zangiri-mono genre, or cropped hair plays, which incorporated Western-style clothing and hairstyles. He was deeply committed to his craft, and for example, during the 1868 Battle of Ueno, he visited the battlefield to watch real soldiers fighting so he could bring that knowledge back to his performance. And Baiko also had the honor of performing before the Meiji Emperor in 1887. So you can see there are a lot of parallels between the two actors. And when I was researching for this video, I found an incredible piece of film, considered the oldest Japanese film still preserved. It was shot in 1899 called Maple Leaf Viewing. And the film tells the story of the nobleman Taira no Koremochi, who fights a demon who disguised himself as Princess Sarashina. Danjuro is playing the role of the demon princess, and Baiko played the nobleman Taira no Koremochi. I was so excited when I found this footage. I love it when a story comes together like this. Okay, now let's talk about the woodblock print artist, one of my all-time favorites, Toyohara Kunichika. He was one of the most famous print artists that focused on Kabuki actors. And he also used to hang out with the Kabuki actors backstage and went drinking and carousing with them. So it makes sense that in 1893, Kunichika was commissioned by his publisher to create two series of 100 prints each of Baiko and Danjuro. And the prints would show each of these actors in their most popular roles. Can you imagine having to create 100 separate prints of an actor? Well, Kunichika did that twice. Let's dissect these prints. Here we have an example, Baiko print on the left and a Danjuro print on the right. If we compare the actor photos to the prints, you can see that Kunichika stylized their appearance to the Utagawa school conventions, but there's still a resemblance to the real person. I think we're fortunate here because they look very different in real life. First, let's talk about the similarities between the prints. Both of the prints are referred to as half-length portraits in that they show the actor from the waist up. The face is often turned in a three-quarter view. The poses are also from an important or climactic point of the play, so the actors have an intense mie glare in their eyes that looks like they're crossing their eyes. Kunichika keeps the background very sparse with a solid color or gradation of color, so our attention is focused on the main actor. The top quarter of each print has the title of the series, some text about the play or role, and then there's Kunichika's signature. In the Baiko series, he signs it Toyohara Kunichika, and in the Danjuro series, he just signs Kunichika. In the left border, we have Kunichika's address and publisher information. Some of the differences you'll notice are that the Baiko series on the left is much more boxy. In the larger box across the top, he's added a picture of another supporting actor in the play. Even though it's boxy, Kunichika makes the image more dynamic by having Baiko break out of his main area and overlap other areas of the print. In this example here, the knife blade is even breaking through the left border of the print. The Danjūrō's print series is much less boxy. Kunichika's used a fluid cloud shape at the top that pulls all of the content together. The title cartouche of the series has a pretty flower design around the edges, and the flowers are peonies, and they're associated with the Danjuro name. Both of these series were printed to very high standards using deluxe techniques such as burnishing, embossing, and mica. All right, now let's take a look at some of my favorite prints in this series, starting with 100 Roles of Baiko. Here is a simple pose. Baiko is playing Hayano Kanpei, who was one of the 47 samurai. His is a sad story because he agreed to revenge the death of his master, but his parents were pressuring him to pledge himself to another lord, so he was stuck in the middle and committed suicide. I like that you can see the wood grain in the background of this print. Next, we have a dynamic battle scene. This is pro-government soldier Shinohara Kunimoto fighting in the Satsuma Rebellion. I love the way that Kunichika depicts the bullets whizzing by and exploding. And during the stage performance, they would use fireworks to make the action more realistic. Tattoo prints are always fun. And this is Baiko in the role of the firefighter Megumi no Tatsugoro, who got involved in a famous fight with sumo wrestlers. I love the reinforced stitching detail on his fireman's kimono, and of course, his dragon tattoo. I picked this one because I love the color palette. The intense blue background and the purple kimono are really gorgeous. This portrait is of Inozuka Shino from the Legend of the Eight Dog Warriors. And bonus, in the inset image at the top is Danjuro, playing another character in the play. We've got to have a snow scene, and this is Baiko in the role of Agaki Genzo, one of the 47 Ronin from the Chushingura story. This is one of my favorite prints and Japanese folktales. This is the hag of Adachi Moor, who used to catch children and eat them. I should do a video on this story in time for Halloween. And here he is in a prettier role as Masaoka, the nursemaid, a major female role in Kabuki. Of course, in Kabuki, the female roles are traditionally played by men. And just a couple more before we get into Danjuro. Here he plays the English balloonist Percival Spencer, flying through the air in his balloon and dropping leaflets on the crowd below. We sold one of these prints to a man who was the great-great-grandson of Spencer, and he even sent me this photo. He told me that Spencer was actually a short man and was standing on a box for this picture. And finally, I love this print of Baiko in the role of a samurai swimming under a net. In the top inset, again, we see Danjuro in a supporting role. Okay, that was fun, right? We just saw 9 prints out of the 100, and you'll have to look up the other 91 prints on your own time. On to 100 roles of Ichikawa Danjuro the 9th. And I'm going to start with something interesting because I have Kunichika's original sketches for some of the prints in this series. Kunichika would sketch his design out on this thin paper and then pass it off to his assistants who would finish the details. So you're looking at a sketch here. It has all the main elements placed on the page. Then that is turned into the final print here. In this role, Danjuro is playing the role of Kirare Yosa, or Scarface Yosa, who used to be a handsome man until he messed with the mistress of a gang boss. Going back to the sketch for a second, we can see a close-up of his hands. In the sketch, he's holding money in his 2 hands. But in the final print, they simplified it, and he's holding some folded paper with something inside it. It could also be money. But this goes to show you how much freedom the publisher and the carver might have to modify the artist's design. Here's another print I have the sketch for. This is interesting because it's a full-on view of his face. He's playing Sendo Tombe, the ferryman. And look at how gorgeous the final print is, with his angry, bright red face and the beautiful colors of the kimono. If we zoom in on his hair, you can see that it's all carefully embossed. This is an example of the deluxe treatments that make this print series so fantastic. To be fair, I had to include a tattooed print of Danjuro. This is a dynamic action pose of him as Shishin, the 9-tattoo dragon from the tale of the 108 heroes of the Suikoden. Just look at the abstract-looking kimono below his waist, his long flowing hair, the subtle falling snow pattern in the background, and of course, his full-body 9-dragon tattoo. Kudos to you if you have this one in your collection. And I'll finish Danjuro with this powerful image of him in the role of the samurai Soga no Goro from the true tale of the revenge of the Soga brothers. This is one of the most popular designs of the series. I did a video on the Soga brothers story, so check it out if you're interested. If you're looking to collect prints from these 2 actor series, I don't see them that often. When I do, they range from under $100 if they're damaged, to $200 to $300 if they're in decent shape, to over $400 if they are one of the more sought-after designs. They are fun to collect, and we have about 60 of the Baiko series in our collection that you can see on our website. In my research, nothing I read mentioned any personal rivalry or animosity between our 2 actors. In fact, as we've seen, they've often performed in the same plays. Both of these actors worked to enrich and transform Kabuki theater, and they both died in the same year, 1903. I hope you've enjoyed this exploration of these amazing prints. Please like and subscribe, and happy collecting.